Grand Rising, we trust everyone is doing well. So today we are looking at church or religion and how it slows down the progress of Africa. If anyone has said this to me 5 years ago, I'm thinking the person is psycho or demon possessed, then when I go home, definitely the first thing I'm going to do for the person is to pray for deliverance for the person. So it kind of makes sense if it's difficult for the youth to accept this, right? Because we kind of see churches springing up almost all the time, and it's like the churches or the pastors are in competition with each other to see who puts up the best building. So every year we get to see new church auditoriums with kind of the largest capacity being unveiled. So it looks like the church is winning over Africa, and obviously the youth, so brainwashed, are just swimming in this happiness, thinking they are the chosen generation who are going to go to heaven. So it's cool. But what I always wonder is, how come Africa, which seems to be winning so much for church, at the same time seem to be losing with filth, poverty, corruption, among all the other social vices you can think? It's like Africa basically can't survive without donations and grants and help from the European nations or China or America. We are always depending on them. And you even hear Christians lamenting, and when you tell them the reason is because we are being brain drained in church, that's why we can't progress, then the same people will pick up in you and make you look like you are the problem. And I want to use myself as an example, because growing up, I grew up in a very strict Christian home. It's like, don't do this, don't wear that, don't go here, don't say this, don't even listen to this kind of song, because when you do all these things, it makes you worldly. So now I'm looking at my life and I realize that most of those things they told me I shouldn't do, I shouldn't venture. If I had been able to listen to myself, or I had a home or parents that supported me and saw that probably I was a different child, and so they should promote me in whatever I was thinking about, by now I would have been self-sufficient, I would have been doing well with myself. And probably for many that are like me, that have had this experience, would all be doing well, and together would have helped to help African grow. It's like in my time growing up, you can't even go to the riverside or any water body, because that's where Mami Water and her agents are. And when you go, they would kind of, should I say, kidnap you, and demon possess you. Meanwhile, we're eating fish and doing all other things with river, to the extent that right now, all those who do imports and all that, most of your goods come through the sea. That's still a water body. And yes, so when growing up, we're like, you can't go near water. Even at my age, if I tell my mom, oh, I went to the beach or something, she's like, you should never go there. Mami Water and her cohorts will, possess you and all that. Yes, so we are all eating fish. You couldn't even think of some song or sing certain song, because like it's demon possessed. Meanwhile, you realize that ironically, those people we thought were the ones going to hell and doing worldly things are the one making it in life now. You realize, you get it. I could have gone into fashion, but it's like, as a Christian girl, you should be, you should have some kind of decent life where you go to school to a certain level and you wait for a man to come and marry you. Then it makes your life whole. So we grew up with this kind of mentality. And for that matter, we're always confined to some box. I can't speak for everyone. I'm speaking from my own perspective. And so we never grew outside the box. We never thought of anything except to believe in Jesus. Whatever you need, just pray. Don't think of working with your mind to bring something new within yourself or the environment. Just pray. Meanwhile, my mother, who is giving me these advices, is in the market selling, and through her trade she's been able to build houses. But yes, so the same person will tell me, no, don't take my life, go to school so you can work in an office. Because growing up, that's the kind of mentality they gave to us. You have to go to school to a certain level to be employed in an office, for somebody to pay you. You are earning respectful or a respected income, if I should say, when at the end of the month someone puts money in your pocket. We were not trained to be self-sufficient, to be able to start a business. I'm not doing this video as a regret. For me, all these things have been life lessons, but all that I'm trying to say is that for those who are smart enough to realize who they were and what they could contribute to society at an earlier age, and for that matter didn't have to waste so much time in school, somehow are doing better than we those who thought we had to go to school. That's not to say education is not important and everybody should be dropping out of school, but I'm talking in respect of the fact that some children are just have some special skills that don't need to go through the formal education like primary, GSS, SHS to the university level at an earlier age, and you realize that's what is making Europe and America and China, those places, thrive, because at an earlier age they're able to identify the gifts of their children, whether it's swimming, singing, playing of instruments, working with the hand, any crafts, whatever. They're able to identify these things, and they help these children grow up with these skills, aside the fact that they are receiving formal education or something like that. And so by the time the child is of certain age, they can be self-sufficient. Even as early as 18, they can move out of home, and learn to do something on their own, of course with proper guidance and all that. And this is how far our ignorance has brought us. So when it comes to field, we are waiting for government to supply dustbins, do this and that. That's not to say like people should just be using their salaries and things to do all that. But some time ago, I was talking to an auntie and she was like, she visited London, and in London at the refuse dump or where they keep their waste, there's a big container there. When you have like oil you are no more using, whether for frying, whatever, you just come there and drop the oil or pour it into those big containers, and eventually they're able to recycle that oil into something else. You go to Europe, I keep saying this, a lot of Africans are visiting Europe. They see there's no field on the street. They see ordinary people are inventing and thinking of things that can help the environment. But when we come here, you see a whole church with filth in front of it, with potholes in front of it, and yet so the youth walk in and out of the church all the time praying for jobs, when somebody can sit and think and say, okay, I'm probably going to focus on fixing potholes, so maybe I talk to the community or this organization, they come together, we put money together, we fix the roads around our area. Or when it comes to rubbish, okay, maybe I'm going to buy a waste collecting car, so it can go around and be collecting the rubbish and I'll be making my money out of it. When you go to Europe, I learned, that's what I heard, that those who collect waste are among kind of the highest paying people, because they are saving the environment, they are saving the community, they are making the community clean. But here, a graduate can never think of doing that job because it's not a respected job. Everybody wants to work. Maybe it's not that things are changing and people are realizing the need or seeing that they are capable enough to be entrepreneurs and do their own job. But those days, everybody wanted to sit in an office wearing a shirt and the tie and everything. Ladies wanted to. I remember when I was about to complete university, that was all I was thinking about. I want to be employed in an office, wearing suits, wearing high heels with makeup. That is all I was thinking about. So now I sit down and realize I could have done so many things, but out of ignorance, thinking some things were more honorable than the other. I didn't give myself the time to be able to explore with my own personal gifts and thereby be self-sufficient. And so if you are hearing this message, it's time for you to think for yourself, Let's try our best. It's not easy. For me to even awaken, I had to contend with family, friends, and a whole lot of people around me. But yet still, for probably you, I had to stand my ground to let you know you don't have to follow the mistakes some of us did. You have a whole life ahead of you, and you can start thinking for yourself, start thinking for your community, and stop prayer. Prayer doesn't solve problems, honestly. If it did, Africa should be one of the best continents. So from praying from church to the house, we still walk through the filth, we walk through the corruption and all the uncleanliness of the environment, and we can't think of any profitable thing to do because prayer steals our brain. Honestly, it does. So in our next video, we are going to look at prayer and how it actually affects us negatively. And I trust even as you listen to the message, you'll be psyched up to awaken the power within you so you can do something profitable for yourself and your community. Peace.